I'll tell you a story, Shay. Aidan slouched in his chair a bit, but one of the black gloves squeezed into a fist, crumpling the napkin. It was my father who decided single-handedly that we needed to leave the country. He decided it when the Crown Prince, only 15 then, only 3 years older than me, assumed command of the Royal Cavalry Battalion. People went crazy. You know how it happens. Everybody ecstatic, everybody talking of a new emerging leader. Father, he saw the writing on the wall. One morning at the end of summer, I woke up and saw him through the window, in the sun, exchanging papers with a man I didn't recognize. They shook hands, and the man left. Father turned and walked too. I couldn't see him past the window's edge, but I knew the front door would bang in a few seconds, and that moment was for me. I realize it sounds trite, but still, it was a loss of innocence. My sisters, Maria and Isabel. He paused. Maria and Isabel slept in another room. I remember a toy, a bear perched on the table in mine. The door banged and he walked in, or rather darted through the anteroom. I heard him say something to Mother in a loud voice. Normally he was all quiet in the mornings, afraid of disturbing our sleep. When I tiptoed over the ice-cold floor into the living room, Mother was collecting things. Some silly stuff, pictures from the walls, porcelain cats from the shelves. Father told her to stop, pack the clothes and wake us up. The carriage already waited outside. Our cook flapped her apron at her face, and the stable hand, Michael, ran after us, waving his hands. Michael had put me on a horse and taught me to ride. Aidan slid away his plate. Past the city gates, I remember Father relaxed. He even smiled at me. Isabel asked for her doll. That was when the bomb exploded. He traced with his fingers a pattern on the table. Something hit me on the head. I flew out through the carriage's door like a sack. I sat on the pavement, bawling, snot all over my face. My hearing was gone. And you know what the worst thing is? I don't even remember the corpses. I remember a wheel rolling past me, people running towards us, but not the corpses. Mother and Father survived. Isabel and Maria didn't. It was Michael who had planted the bomb, of course. They'd found out Father wanted to leave the country and they bribed our stable hand to blow us up. I'm so sorry, Aidan, Shay said. You don't have to be. It was 25 years ago. I healed, which brings me to another point. He pinched the rim of his glove. You're afraid that people at the tower will never learn to work with the Drakiri devices? Well, you can live with these things your entire life. In one motion, he pulled the glove off. The old lady at the neighboring table gasped, and her fork rang like a little bell. Aidan's arm ended at the wrist. What came after branched off in metal and purple veins, glowed in sparks, roughly following the contours of a human hand, but only roughly. Knotted fingers rolled in the air as though strumming a chord. Carefully, Aidan put the glove back on and smiled at the old lady who sat there with huge, frozen eyes. Shay exhaled. Gosh, I never knew. And now you do. The bomb maimed me, and I had this thing fitted instead by a wandering Drakiri craftsman when I was 21. You said you found out it was Michael who planted the bomb. What did you do to him? Aidan didn't say anything, but his smile sharpened while his eyes went to ice. Isabel, Maria, Lena, Shay exhaled, struck by an analogy. I could have been Aidan. If it were a person that had taken Lena from me, I quite possibly would have been him. And then they passed the next hill, and sure enough, there were the ripples on water, and the white sails, and the valley's saddle onto which a palette knife had scrawled the contours of a city. Somehow, the magic of it appeared dull. All he could think about was a boy looking at dead bodies, an image that held in itself a particular picture from his own past, like a Doomian stacking doll.